Welcome back to the Racing Group podcast. Today we're on episode 3, and yay, 3 for Dale. And today I'm joined by Ronnie Smith Jr., driver of the number 28 front-wheel drive car. Say hello, Ronnie.
How you guys doing?
For me, pretty good. And today we have a meaty episode, a lot of stuff to talk about. And with that, I guess we'll get started. For you and your 2020 season, what did you, how do you feel about the 2020 season as a whole?
I feel good about it. Wasn't what I expected. I didn't expect to have to put a cage in my car in 1 week, and I set my car up for destruction. And Jay Quinn came to me and was like, "Let's cage your car. Let's go to a lasso." I caged it, and we went out there. Just went out and had fun. I knew I didn't have a car to compete, nothing like that. I just wanted to go out and ride around the back and have fun. Had issues, but you learn from them. And I mean, all in all, I had fun with it. It is what it is.
Yeah, I think it'd be a better season if it wasn't for the COVID. That's for sure.
Oh yeah. Like I said, my car was for destruction. Uh, if I had plans to run the front wheel drive class at Owasso, I'd have came with a whole different kind of car, a whole different setup. But when you buy a car and you gut it in a day and cage it in a week, you get what you get.
Yeah, not gonna be the fastest car on track, that's for sure.
The first night out at Owasso ended very quickly.
Yeah, it did.
The second night out made it to the feature, and then it was getting hot for some reason. The third night out, third weekend out, we put a radiator in it in the pit area. Or no, the second time out, they told they wouldn't let me qualify because they said I was leaking oil, and kind of find out it wasn't oil, it was transmission fluid coming out of the CV axle seal that was broke because of week 1. And the third week, I changed the radiator in the pit area, qualified it, and then I made it all the way to the feature. It was about 12 or 13 laps in the feature. The car just started being stupid. It just wanted, like, it was acting like it was overheating. And, so I pulled off, and then the car was acting fine. But it was just a stubborn car. I dealt with it. I put a little bit of work into it. Put James Quinn in it. He went out and he had fun in it.
He did pretty good out there as well.
Yeah, I let him qualify it. I let him run the heat race. And then the B main was so close to the heat race, I just told him to run the B main. He made the feature, and he came up in the grandstands. I had my fire suit on still. The plan was I was going to run it in the feature, and he made it there. Excuse me. But he made it there, and came up and he threw his receiver at me, and he said, "Go get in it." So I started 23rd in that feature. I finished 11th. And then the next night on Nationals, I didn't take it out. Kind of upset my dad about that one because my dad wanted to watch me race. I lost a lot of money racing at Owasso. So I was like, I can't afford it right now, so I didn't do it. But
Yeah.
next year will be a different story. I'm coming out swinging. A lot of people know why week one was horrible for me because
Yeah,
Ronnie
I
wants
want
to
to go
try
to
to.
that. I want to go to that. Your quote unquote how did you put it? Quote unquote Nemesis, the 26 in the heat race. Not even one lap in turn one. He came back from like 3 rows deep, 3 car lengths, and then decides to hit you in your back. And then not too many people know about this, but a lot of people think it was on purpose of you coming back up onto him in turn two.
No, I I was literally about to get kicked out of the pit area because of that. The official came down and talked to me and seen what was broke on my car and knew I was just trying to get out of the way. There's different points of view on it. Uh, Everybody has their opinion. Me being a driver in that car at that point in time, and then watching your video, and a couple other people's videos that were there, and the that guy, I think that guy had jumped the start first off and made it 3 wide before the flagman, and then drove right into my left rear. And when he did, it got me sideways, and I just tried to correct it. And when I tried to correct it, I jerked steering wheel too hard, and it broke the CV axle. And I knew it broke. I heard it pop, so I was just trying to get out of the way. And he was there, so I pushed him off the track. I mean, caved the whole right side in on my car, and I mean, well, rubbing is racing.
Yeah, and
And
plus, from one of my videos, actually, my video of that incident, the way that your car jerked up the track, it looked like that something must have broken in the car.
yeah, and then me going down the backstretch on in that car, I had my foot on the gas, knowing that CV axle broke. For some reason, I don't know why I had my foot on the gas, but my speedometer was doing 90, but it only felt like I was doing 20. And then with the CV axle just slapping around in there broke, it ended up breaking 2 brake lines, and I had to fix that on a Friday night. I changed the CV axle and 2 brake lines on Friday night, and then had to back out Saturday.
And that was for night two.
Do what?
And that was for night two, after the
Yep,
repairing the
yep,
damage from night one.
yep. Yeah, that was for night 2, and then night 2 I had overheating problems, and then come to find out it was my AC condenser and something else that because the car was just bone stock. There was nothing done to it. I mean, like I said, it was set up for destruction, and you know, me racing at Owasso wouldn't have been possible if it wasn't for my biggest sponsor for giving me a harness. I didn't have one. I was about to go pay $500-$600 for one, and he ended up giving me one. So that was a big prop for this year, and but I kept it into 2020 on a high note. When I went to Mass Playground, had a blast.
Yeah.
I tried to take your bumper off, but you were just too You're just too fast for me on the straightaways. I couldn't stay attached to you.
Your car was basically dying at that point.
Yeah, and then I blew it up. Well, then I thought I blew it up, but couldn't find out, which is the negative on the battery cable.
Oh,
Came loose. I still had power and everything, but I just didn't have enough to turn it over. And my stepbrother bought it. It's his car now. He's gonna have fun with it. And I'm thinking something else for next year.
as the way it looks, I don't know how next year's going, to be honest. I really don't know.
I don't either. I I don't. I think we're gonna race, but I don't think we are.
Yeah. It's basically uh, a political game at this point.
Yep, it sure is.
Anyway, from that, I think that wraps up your 2020 review. Anything to expect for 2021? I guess we already touched up on this.
Well, I do. If we do race, I will. I am gonna go back home.
Same for
I
me.
am gonna go. I am gonna go to Auto City and Dixie. Dixie, Bertrand, whatever you want to call it. But I will have a couple cars, and I will have one that's for dirt. I will. Ever since I went to Mavs playground, uh, I just got the itch for it now. I want to try to go in dirt. Just so my dad can see me race. My dad's never seen me race, so if I go dirt, my dad will be able to see it because he loves dirt racing. So I'm thinking about doing that a couple times a year. But I am gonna go home. I'm sincere to Auto City and Bertrand, and that's where I want to be.
Same for me. Auto City, Birch Run. I will be going back out to Owasso for like a few times, hopefully 3 or 4. If not, then I'll be out there at least once or twice in 2020.
Yeah, I might go watch, but as far as racing, you gotta do too much to a car to race
Yeah,
at a Wasso and be competitive.
I know Birch Run races Fridays. I think they are. They got to be. They always race Fridays.
Yep.
Um, Auto City races Saturdays, and if they ever have like an off weekend or if house racing is racing for a weekend, I might go down to Owasso, record for them.
Yeah, that's like if we have an off week for destruction shows and stuff like that, I might slide out to Tri City, Crystal, or what's the other one?
Whittemore?
No, not Whittemore.
Oh,
It's over in Thumb. I can't remember the name of it. So the Bullet, Silver Bullet.
oh, Silver Bullet.
I might slide out there and race on dirt a couple times next year if I can. And
If I had more time, I would go out to those tracks, but it's just there's not much time for me to go out there. So the only
yeah,
3 choices I have, maybe 4, are Bertrand, Auto City, obviously, Owasso, maybe Whittemore, but that's a little iffy.
yeah. I mean, Whittemore's up there a little bit. I mean, I've been there. I mean, I've never raced there, but I've been there.
Yeah,
It's a fun track, and I mean, I wouldn't mind it if if they ran a class that I could run a front wheel drive car on.
yeah.
Uh,
I
I,
think that's
I
what
wouldn't mind doing it.
I think that's what Auto City and Bridge Run might want to do. Bridge Run, I think lesser chance for Bridge Run, but hopefully Auto City can bring the front wheel drive class to life.
I heard speculation. Not saying it's true. And no, I mean I don't want nobody taking my word for it, but I heard that they were talking about it. That it was in talks to bring that front wheel drive class to Auto City.
I hope so.
Uh,
I'd run that class with my car instead of destruction, to be honest.
but I mean, like if they do run a class like that, I mean, they're gonna want full cages. I
Yeah,
mean, that's. I mean, you don't want to run a full class. You don't want to run a class like that and not have a cage. That's
no.
dangerous. Uh,
Owasso I get, I fully understand. But for Auto City, yeah, I can see why having a cage would do.
well, I mean, they're probably gonna just run them on the small track anyway.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But you can pick up if you got the right car, you can pick up some speed on that small track. And I mean, I've seen it. I'm surprised they run pure stocks on that small track. I'm surprised they don't run them on the big track. But they got a lot of motor for that track. And
They do put on a good show out on that track though.
oh yeah, they do.
Again, like I said in episode 1 for the big track, they hardly ever use it, to be honest. It seems like it's just there to be there.
Well, they used to run the supers on it, and late models and modifieds. Um,
Wasn't it because of
that,
a sprint car crash that crashed in turn 3 that one year? That's why
I
they
can't remember.
hardly.
I know a sprint car did crash over in turn 3, and he went over the wall.
Yeah.
From what I heard, but I'm not sure if that's what stopped it. Uh, but Auto City used to put on good shows, and I've 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 been going to Auto City since I was 3 years old, and I think that they should bring back more races than just destruction shows and stuff like that. I mean, I think they should have modifieds there. I think they should have supers and.
Yeah, that like I said in episode 1, they should really try to work on bringing the bigger divisions there. But I think their setup, the way they have it, is a little too dangerous for those kind of shows, especially having no wall in turns 1 and 2.
Well, I mean, it's been like that for as long as I can remember. Um, I remember like over 20 years ago, Brian Keselowski's brother Brian,
Brian
he had a
Keselowski? Yep.
Brian Keselowski had a super, and all ever since Brad and Brian were racing at Auto City, they always had NASCAR motors, and they always had the bigger top end stuff because of their dad.
Hmm.
But I witnessed Brian roll this super out turn 1, and they towed it back up on the track, and they got it on the front stretch, and his car started up for him. So he told the tow truck to drop his car. He wanted to finish the feature. It was 10 laps in the feature, and he buckled his seatbelts back up, and he finished the last 10 laps of the feature.
Hmm.
I mean, turn 1 and 2 has been like that since I've known it, and yeah, I went down it last year. Well, yeah, 2019 I went down it.
I know Josh DeLong went off it a couple times.
I mean, I got pushed off by Joe. Joe DeWitt in the school bus.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
I mean, it was kind of my fault. I tried to put my car in a tight spot that I shouldn't have put it in, and I paid the consequences for it.
All right. So again, anything else for 2021 before we move on? I think we covered it all.
I covered it all.
All right. Oh yeah, for me, my weekends are reserved. I actually thought about this the other day. My weekends will be reserved for big shows like what is it called? The Dixie at the Bertrand Speedway. You know, the big
Oh,
shows over there.
yeah, the big shows, yeah.
Yeah, the JEG CRA. I know that
Yep,
they're running that once next year. All right, so besides that, that's it.
that's it.
Next up we have the mailbox, and actually we got a very light mailbox with one question this week. Um, Retard TV from YouTube. What's your worst crash?
I mean, in life or on a racetrack?
Um, Racetrack.
Mm, racetrack. I say when I went off turn one at Auto City. That was pretty scary.
Well, for me, the worst crash I had. Oh shoot, I've been through a lot, whether it's on the road or on Mav's playground. Actually, I did. Yeah, Mav's playground. I went off the back stretch. My tire got caked in mud. Do you remember that?
Yeah, your tire looked like a donut.
Looked like a little Debbie cake. That's what I called it.
Little,
That's what I call
yeah,
it.
little oatmeal cream pie.
Yeah. That's funny. Damaged the bottom frame of it. But yeah, that was pretty bad. I thought I was gonna roll my car with no cage. Luckily, I didn't. Um, on the road, I rear-ended, what's his name again? Josh Hetzer?
Josh Hetzer.
Yeah, no taillights on his
Well,
trailer.
on the racetrack. That was my worst. On the road, my worst was when I rolled my Grand Prix off side of 75. I rolled it 4 times.
Jesus.
I actually rolled it right there by your house, by your dad's house, right in
Oh.
between mile markers 138 and 139 on 75 by Birch Run.
Of course you did. Right by my house. But yeah,
Yeah,
I live across I-75 from Birch Run Speedway. It's
yeah,
just few little turns, then there it is. Birch Run.
yeah. Yeah, I went so far into the woods. The tow truck driver asked my dad if I had a hunting license.
Huh? How
It
does
took
that
it
work?
took it took 4 tow trucks to get my car out of the woods
Why would you need a hunting license?
because my car was so far into the woods that they they had to use 4 tow trucks. It looked like I was chasing a deer.
All right. But yeah, back to the instant. I rear-ended Josh Hetzer. Again, he had no taillights in the middle of a dark, rainy night. I didn't see him till last second. Then, boom. Uh,
I remember that. You just left us at Cloud Go Karts.
yeah. And then Paul Rigda was there. You've been hitting people all night, whether it's on the go-kart track or on the roads. Oh, that's funny.
isn't,
But
isn't,
yeah,
that the, isn't that the same night that you dive bombed your go kart too?
dive. Oh, corner where I didn't feel like braking or turning.
Yeah.
And then I hit the wall
Yeah.
by myself. Yeah, that was terrible. That was terrible. Been been a been through a lot on that go-kart track.
Yeah.
And
Fun.
then there was a scary incident for me at the intersection of Birch Run Road and Dixie. That terrible intersection.
Yeah. Intersection's
Apparently,
horrible.
one day my brakes decided to go out for no reason. The light was just turned red when I was coming up to it. Went to hit the brakes for the red light. Brake pedal to the floor. Ran that red light after it turned red. I believe 2 seconds. It stayed red.
Wow.
If there was like 3 more or 4 more seconds after that, I would have gotten T-boned or someone else would have gotten T-boned. Ugh,
Yeah.
that was scary.
Yeah, that's a bad intersection.
Well, from my um perspective, it's from my car. I wouldn't blame it on the intersection if a crash would have happened. Actually, a crash did happen there a few weeks ago, and someone I believe hit the telephone pole light. One pole that held the traffic lights up. Someone hit that, then all
Yeah.
the traffic lights fell down onto the road intersection.
Yep. The same thing happened up by Mugshots Bar.
That's where I ran into Josh Hetzer. Something about those two
Wow.
intersections I really don't like.
Yeah. So you gotta just go up to them, be careful, be easy. That's why when I go up to an intersection, I let off my gas, I let my car coast for a minute, and I pump my brakes a couple times. So that way I know they're there. I just let her coast for a minute.
Yep, so those are the crashes I've been a part of. Few scary incidences. Actually, a scary um yeah, incidences where again something bad could have happened. Fortunately, nothing did. So I guess that's it for the mailbox. And on to number 5. The NASCAR Cup Series Championship race predictions at Phoenix on Sunday. Who do you got winning?
Uh, Winning the race, I'll say Kevin Harvick's gonna win the race, but
Oh, really?
I think Kevin Harvick's gonna win the race. But I like Denny Hamlin to win a championship this year.
Huh.
I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Brad win it for the second time. But I think Denny deserves one, and I think this might be his year.
Well, for me, I have to look on stats and Chase Elliott. I can see him winning. Actually, I can see all 4 of these drivers winning. But yeah, Chase Elliott, he's close. Keselowski, I think he's the favorite, but I think Chase Elliott's the favorite because of his fan base. Keselowski is pretty good there. He led laps there earlier this year until he was involved in a crash with Hamlin.
Yep.
Denny Hamlin, I can see him winning because he won last year's race there. And Joey Logano, he won there earlier this year. So it's really hard to say, but based off of this season, Keselowski's pretty good with the 750 horsepower low downforce package at the short tracks. He has 3 wins off of that. Keselowski's racing his Richmond and New Hampshire car that he won off of, so he's 2 for 2 on wins for that car. I can see Keselowski winning Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, when you get out to Phoenix, you're in the Harvick's land, and that's where Harvick likes. Harvick's been pretty dominant at Phoenix.
I hate to burst your bubble, but he's fallen off at Phoenix. He did get there second. He finished second earlier this year though, to Joey Logano.
I mean, you put Harvick in Phoenix, and it's just like when Jimmy Johnson was in his prime. You put Jimmy Johnson in Charlotte in the Coca-Cola 600.
Huh.
You knew he was gonna win it. And I mean, there's just certain tracks, you can pick on who's gonna win it because they're so good at that track. You know, way back in the day, Jeff Gordon was dominant at Martinsville. He couldn't be beat. He got beat by Jimmy Johnson, but now he's getting beat, and then they both started getting beat by Denny Hamlin. And now it's Chase Elliott.
Chase Elliott did win Martinsville with the 750 low downforce package. But Keselowski was running good there at the end, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, I mean,
dude, we couldn't ask for a better top. I meant Final Four.
Do what?
We couldn't ask for a better top four because this is pretty hard to choose from.
Yeah, this top four is pretty stout. I mean, it's hard to pick one. I mean,
you got Chase Elliott, who rises to the occasion. Got Keselowski, again, who's pretty good with this aero package on short tracks. Denny DeHamlin, that's what I usually call him. Denny Hamlin, he won there last year. Joey Logano won here earlier this year. Jeez.
I mean, like I said, you know, when it comes to the championship, when it comes to Homestead, my top two that's going to come down between is Hamlin and Keselowski.
At Homestead.
And I wouldn't mind seeing either one of them win.
You meant Phoenix, right?
Well, Homestead is the very last track.
Not this year.
No?
No, it's Phoenix.
Oh.
You know what? I got Keselowski winning.
Whoever wins it, it's power to them, you know. And
my prediction is Keselowski. Again, short track, the aero package suits him. He led laps here earlier this year. Seems to be pretty fast. I got Keselowski.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Keselowski win his second one, but I think Hamlin deserves it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna pick Hamlin. You know, everybody, you know, all my friends have different people. You know, you and Jay are Joey Logano and Keselowski fans, or yeah, Joey Logano and Keselowski fans. I'm a Joe Gibbs guy. You know, I root for all the Joe Gibbs guys. Yeah, I like seeing Brad win because he's a Michigan guy.
Yep.
But you know, if you ask my dad who was gonna win, my dad will tell you Chase Elliott.
Of course he would. It's Chase Elliott, NASCAR's golden boy.
My dad's a Bill Elliott fan.
I mean, I couldn't blame him at that point. But still, NASCAR's golden boy, Chase Elliott. And actually, by the way, I made an Instagram poll. Chase Elliott, 6 votes. Keselowski got 4 votes. Denny Hamlin with 2, and Joey Logano with 1. So most people say Chase Elliott.
You know, like when Chase Elliott came and was driving a 24 car, they asked Chase Elliott. They said your dad is Wild Bill from Dawsonville. What's your name? What's your nickname? He said, "Hi, I'm Chase from the same place."
I'm Chase from the same place. That's dumb, but it actually kind of works. I'm
It does.
sorry,
It's pretty funny.
it's funny, but dumb at the same time, because he didn't even try. I'm Chase from the same place. Anyway, got Keselowski, you got Denny Hamlin.
Yep.
Most people say Chase Elliott, and I bet Jay Quinn has Logano. Most likely.
Most likely. Most likely he'll pick Logano.
Okay. So that wraps up the predictions. Now we head over to my personal favorite odd news lines. I got 3 of them. There was gonna be 2 until I realized that we had a short inbox of questions. This first one on the upi.com/odd news. November 5th, 2020. That's today. Woman inspired by fellow store customer to buy a $250,000 lottery ticket. So apparently, she was standing in line at a refuel convenience store in Lake City, but a customer in front of her in line bought a ticket and inspired her to do the same. Because of that, the woman went to her car, scratched off the ticket, and she won $250,000 jackpot off of it.
I can't get that lucky. I buy lottery tickets all the time.
Dude, please send me some luck, cause I kind of need it.
Yeah.
I kind of need it right now, especially when I got uh something coming up earlier.
Yeah.
Later or
Like
next weekend.
the guy I got my Suburban from. I bought my Suburban from him, and he went and bought a $10 lottery ticket and hit it for 1,000. You know, I I can't never get that lucky.
I would do.
I go buy them. I win 10, $20. So then I gotta go to the bigger $20 tickets, and I lose. And
the
but
biggest
you,
the biggest lottery ticket I won off of was a $1 lottery ticket. I ended up getting $30. That was it.
I think the most I've won was on a $10 ticket. I won 200, 200,
I can't
200
get
or 250, something like that.
I can't get that lucky. I have terrible luck. Tell
Jake
you.
Jay Quinn, he plays them all the time. When he gets on his roll, he gets on his roll. He'll hit and he'll bang. He'll hit them all day. He's just lucky.
Yep. I can't stand watching people getting that kind of luck, then just blowing it all away by who knows what they do to it off
Yeah.
of what they win. Anyway, this one comes out of the Czech Republic. Man caught walking stuffed dog after curfew.
What?
Um, the reason why he did this is because well, he got stopped, caught walking in a public area after 9 p.m. curfew, which was imposed amid the COVID-19 pandemic. The man, the man intentionally claimed to be walking his dog, an activity that is permitted after curfew hours.
Oh wow. That's all I can say on that one. Is wow.
I mean, technically, he was. I mean, I guess I, I'm honestly kind of speechless with that one. But anyway, the man was claimed his walk was an artistic practical joke and was released with a warning, and that the walker does not regret his actions of it.
Well, at least they let him off with a warning.
I mean, I guess the officers were right. It was an artistic practical joke. I get that. But still, was he doing anything wrong?
Hey,
Anyway, the last one comes. What's going on over there?
I walked in my bedroom.
Okay, so anyway, the last one comes from India, where an Indian teenager achieved the Guinness World Record for the longest hair on a teenager. Oh, great, I'm gonna torture this name. Uh, Nilanchi Patel first achieved the record for longest hair on a teenager on November 21st, 2018. This came up today, but this was from 2018, and has since broken her own record twice for most recent time, also achieving the record for the longest hair ever on a teenager. Her hair measured up to 6 feet and 6.7 inches.
I could never have my hair that long.
Well, according to this, the teenager said she has been growing her hair out ever since getting a bad haircut at age 6.
Oh wow!
That's what really gets me.
I tried growing my hair out, didn't work. I didn't like it. I just keep it short.
I've done it a couple times, never works on me. It really doesn't. Um, from what she said, I got my haircut, a really bad haircut. So then I decided that I won't cut my hair. I decided that when I was 6, I have not cut it since.
Oh well.
Well, there you go. She's the current Guinness World Record holder for longest hair. So anyway, after all that, I guess that's it. Do you have any final thoughts before we end tonight's the Racing Group podcast?
Nope, I'm pretty happy with it.
Yep. Same goes for me. I got nothing else. So again, thanks for watching. This has been episode 3 of the Racing Group podcast. Next, oh yeah, for episode 4 we will be having Sean Shiley join the show and talk about his season, what's going on for 2021 with him, and again, I believe we gotta have we gotta have the odd news stories back. I like that
Yeah.
segment. But yeah, Sean Shiley will join next week. Um, for now, this has been the Racing Group podcast. See you next time.
Yep. See